Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are diving deep into a truly unique stack of sources.
Really unique.
We've been handed this detailed astrological forecast that's merged with a very intense metaphorical narrative, a story scope, they call it.
Right.
And it all centers on just one single day, November 19th, 2025.
And it's an unusual mission for sure, but I think it's highly effective for you listening.
Yeah, it makes it stick.
Exactly. When you pair these really abstract concepts like celestial alignments with a cinematic story, the knowledge just lands differently.
So what's the core claim here?
Our sources are claiming that November 19th is a sacred threshold, that it's set up for this profound and potentially very disruptive personal change.
Okay, so our goal is to dissect the mechanics of that disruption.
Right, and to understand why the commitment you make on this day is so to be so foundational.
The sources, they really paint this picture of a day where you're just going to get hit with sudden information that's both chaotic and somehow liberating.
Yes, and it's an energetic setup that demands calm navigation.
But it promises these huge, fundamental breakthrough insights if you can just manage that nervous energy.
And the core theme running through everything is this sort of mandatory commitment to transformation. It's coming, whether you feel ready for it or not.
And that transformation kicks off immediately.
It does. Let's look at the morning setup, because that's what really defines the initial volatility,
It seems really complex, right? We've got Mercury in retrograde.
which is always fun.
Yeah, so our internal processes, communication, planning, it's all under review. And it's simultaneously opposing Uranus and trining Neptune.
That triple alignment is basically the definition of mental overload.
So let's break that down.
Okay, so Mercury retrograde is already forcing you to look inward, to review the past. But when it opposes Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of sudden change, of revolution,
Oh, wow.
the past and the future just crash into each other.
Mm.
That opposition is the source of the unexpected news and sudden realizations the source warns about.
So we're not talking about like a minor email mix-up here.
Oh, not at all. No.
This is a structural break, a real shift in your perception of reality.
It's fundamental.
And I love how the source puts it, that these breakthrough insights, they arrive through unusual channels.
Exactly. Which suggests the answers aren't coming from spreadsheets or, linear logic.
So a rational thought might lead to a mystical conclusion.
It could. Or maybe the solution to a really practical problem just pops up in a dream or a song lyric or something. This opposition is electric. It really heightens that nervous energy.
And forces you to reckon with things you've been ignoring.
And the skill you need here is mental flexibility. The source is very clear on this. You need imagination to connect the dots without jumping to conclusions.
Because if you let that nervous energy run wild, you just jump straight to panic.
Right. But if you can hold space for the absurdity of it, the breakthrough can actually emerge.
Okay. Now, what's fascinating here, and what really speaks to the day's structure, is the transition. After that super volatile intellectual morning, the sources say the energy just pulls back dramatically, and the afternoon becomes focused on simple routines and mature choices.
It's like an astronomical timeout.
Yeah, why the immediate shift to grounding?
Well, it acts as one. The morning delivers the insights, the shock, the realization, the new direction. But insights on their own, they're kind of useless without integration.
Ah, okay.
So the afternoon forces that synthesis. The energy shifts from this intellectual revolution to practical application.
Ah.
It's urging you to figure out how to functionally integrate those wild insights into your shared reality.
So the shock hits, and then you have to immediately decide, is this revelation worth fighting for, or is that just a passing strange thought?
It's all about mature choices. The afternoon energy is pushing for collaboration, for a common cause.
So you take your new, maybe disruptive truth.
And you figure out, okay, where do I need to compromise with others to build something? And where do I absolutely have to stand my ground? It's the practical work that separates true transformation from just simple rebellion.
And that structural work leads us right into the main event of the night.
The new moon in Scorpio.
Which is not your typical intention-setting moment. The sources call this the sacred threshold.
And this is where that core demand for deep, irreversible commitment really comes in. When the moon resets in Scorpio, the sign of death, transformation, hidden resources.
Yeah.
The intention isn't about setting goals like, I want a raise or I want a new hobby.
It's much deeper than that.
It is. The mandate is brutally direct. It's not about what we want to add to life. It's about what we are ready to let die so something more authentic can be born.
Wow.
It requires confronting the parts of yourself, your habits, your relationships that are past their expiration date. What emotional debt are you ready to pay? What secret burdens are you ready to shed?
That whole process of letting die is so psychologically draining. But the imagery the source uses here, it implies that without that shedding, the new reality just can't manifest.
It can't.
It's about planting seeds in the darkest soil, trusting that what grows from such depths will have roots strong enough to crack through any concrete that tries to contain it.
That imagery is perfect. It perfectly illustrates the profound, disruptive nature of Scorpio transformation. It's telling you that the reality that comes from this will be so fundamentally strong, so rooted in truth, that old barriers, old concrete habits, they just won't be able to contain it.
The commitment has to be radical because the result will be revolutionary.
Exactly.
And the astrology itself confirms why these specific intentions are so turbocharged. This new moon is conjunct Mercury retrograde.
Right. And for anyone unfamiliar with that term, conjunct just means they're lined up, they're magnifying each other's power.
Fused together.
Fused. The moon, which is emotion and intuition, is fused with Mercury, the mind, the messenger. But because Mercury is moving backward, that fusion is happening in the deepest, most reviewed parts of your subconscious.
So the intentions you set are profoundly informed by your past and your hidden truths.
But the influence doesn't stop there. The sources point to an even larger, really harmonious structure that's driving that deeper intuition.
The grand trine.
That's the crucial piece. A trine is a geometric alignment that represents ease and flow. A grand trine is 3 points in perfect harmony.
In this case.
In this case, the Scorpio moon is trining both Jupiter in empathetic Cancer and Saturn in compassionate Pisces.
Okay, let's pause on that. Why is this specific setup, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces? Why is that the mechanism for finding truth amidst all this contradictory information?
It's all water signs, which means it emphasizes emotion, intuition, deep feeling. Now, the tension is normally that Scorpio digs up truth relentlessly, which can be pretty harsh. But when you frame that Scorpio truth-seeking within the safe, nurturing environment of Jupiter in Cancer,
Which governs emotional security.
and the compassionate, boundary-dissolving insight of Saturn in Pisces, you create this protected space.
So the emotional maturity of Cancer and Pisces acts as the container. It lets the Scorpio probe happen without self-destructing.
Precisely. This alignment helps you access deep intuition, imagination, and dreams. The sources point out that since your mind is going to be inundated with excessive and contradictory information this week.
Right, like trying to make a huge decision when everyone's giving you conflicting advice.
Exactly. So this intuitive knowing is the exact tool you need to sort through options and uncover the truth. It's your emotional compass in an informational fog.
We have to go back to the engine of the day's disruption, though, because understanding that opposition is key.
Mercury retrograde, opposite Uranus retrograde.
Let's get into the mechanics of that shock.
This opposition is the engine of the inward revolution. If Mercury is linear thought, Uranus is the lightning bolt. Oppositions always create friction, but here it's a liberating friction.
So it causes those sudden, astonishing, maybe shocking shifts that just reframe your entire life story.
It's the moment you look back at your history and realize the narrative you've been living under just isn't true anymore.
Right.
Or maybe it never was.
It merges your past limitations with future possibilities.
Right, through a transformative shift in perception. And that's why the practical advice the source gives is so vital. Think outside of the box. Try something out of left field.
Because if the universe is sending rather unusual signals,
Then trying to force linear, traditional thinking is just going to cause massive frustration. You are being asked to leap, fueled by that nervous energy.
and that nervous energy is actually a sign that the breakthrough is trying to get out.
It is. It's an invigoration of the inner voice, charged with this limitless potential. But you mentioned it earlier, this alignment isn't purely disruptive.
There has to be a counterbalance, or the day would just be a meltdown.
And there is a significant healing element provided by the third aspect. Mercury retrograde, trine, Neptune retrograde.
So while Uranus brings the shock,
Neptune provides the compassionate understanding and creativity. This is where creativity and communication become the salve that soothes the raw nerves left over from the Uranus opposition.
so the source says, let the muse guide us.
Yes, thoughts and words fueled by this easy trine to Neptune, they're described as Incredibly creative and extremely healing.
Which suggests the insights you get aren't just for you, they're meant to be shared.
Absolutely. The source specifically advises reaching out to people who are having a difficult time, noting that your words could do wonders. You become the conduit for that exact empathetic wisdom the Grand Trine provides.
So the shocking revelation in the morning is followed by compassionate delivery in the evening.
That's the flow.
Okay, now, to make all this abstract astrological mechanics stuff truly concrete,
And memorable.
we have to turn to the StoryScope, this narrative called The Signal Beneath the Vein.
And this story just provides the perfect emotional wallpaper for November 19th. We're dropped immediately into the drowned half-light of the city.
The atmosphere is thick with concealed meaning.
So thick. The neon flickers like dying stars, and the new moon is described as a thin obsidian scythe. It instantly establishes that this night is a sharp threshold where something has to be cut away.
And we meet Vera. She's the character who embodies this day's energy leather coat, fangs, heightened instincts.
And she feels that energetic shift immediately. Signals are reversing, glitched echoes are slipping through dead channels. She feels the drag of memory twisting.
That's the Mercury-Uranus opposition.
That's it, setting the stage.
Right.
Vera feels her past reality disrupting. Something is actively rewriting itself on the edges of the grid. But her instinct is sharpened now. It's guiding her.
And it guides her to this old observatory, a sanctuary for outcasts. Metaphorically, a place for deep collective introspection.
And inside, we get this beautiful visual representation of the Grand Trine we were just talking about.
The floating ologlyphs.
Right, representing the three water signs, and they swirl into a single luminous trine. It's the visual of intuitive balance being achieved.
And then Soren, the archivist vampire, he's the keeper of this insight. He murmurs the key words of the Grand Trine.
He does, and it links the story right back to the psychological tools you need. Intuition, imagination, dream. Those are the three modes of knowing that will guide you through the chaos.
And Soren also gives the crucial warning, the one that ties directly to the permanent nature of the Scorpio new moon commitment.
He tells Vera that whatever tension she plants in this darkness, she will live with it for centuries. It just underscores that the transformation being offered is permanent, foundational.
And then the climax, the moment of radical realization.
The Mercury-Uranus opposition just surges through the scene. The lights stutter, the stable hologlyphs tear themselves apart into a jagged pattern. Everything reverses.
It's an inversion of everything she thought was true.
And Soren recognizes it. He says, something wants to be known. The moment is unavoidable.
And the chaos sharpens into this single crystalline insight that slices through Vera's mind. The ultimate realization, you have been living inside a lie.
That is the inward revolution in full effect. It's so powerful, she actually sees herself split into different versions. The one who fled, the one who fought, the one who survived, merging all her past timelines into a new, decisive present.
And that shocking clarity is the precise result of the opposition.
But immediately after the destruction, the healing trine surfaces. Vera's inner voice, her muse, dictates her path forward. Speak, create, reveal, heal.
The personal revelation has to become a public, compassionate action.
And when she finally speaks her raw, transformative truth, the source says the chamber just ignites. Her voice ripples out, reaching the minds of those suffering in the city's underbellies, soothing their pain.
She uses her truth for the common cause, fulfilling the compassionate mandate of that Mercury-Neptune trine.
Her voice, born from her own personal crisis, becomes a salve, a beacon, a warning, a promise, and the final image of the new moon hanging like a blade she had finally learned how to wield.
It's perfect. It's the whole transformation, from fear of hidden truths to mastery over the power they give you.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? The sources are offering a pretty clear choice on November 19th, 2025. You face disruption, information overload, and this demand to let the old version of yourself die.
But you're also given the specific tools, that Grand Trine alignment, granting intuition, imagination, and emotional protection to commit to a truly authentic future.
If we connect this all to the bigger picture, the urgency really lies in committing to the truth that Uranus delivers.
And the intuition that the Grand Trine provides. So, given the source's profound claim that intentions planted in this dark soil are deep-rooted and long-lasting, potentially impacting your life for what feels like centuries, this raises a really important question for you.
What's the provocation?
What is the single deepest, most concealed truth about your current life structure that you're ready to confront and allow to transform you? Because whether you see the full extent of the change yet or not, the source material suggests that revolutionary transformation is already stirring, right now, just beneath the surface.